anyone who thinks they maximise the value of any asset they create by locking it up is nuts. In a medium, you can now share stuff at near zero marginal cost. And so, having said that, Channel 4 is a public institution set up to support the population of the UK. The BBC is slightly different. It's got a role globally as well. Channel 4 doesn't. So I don't have a particular vision about how Channel 4IP is going to help Africa. What I do think, however, is that one of the wonderful things about the internet and other digital media is that you get wonderful, unexpected, second-order happenstances. You know, Flickr is derived out of the failure of the game never ending. Wikipedia came out of a failed managed encyclopedia project. And one of the things I'm trying to do particularly around rights, I mean, the IP in 4IP is not just internet protocol, innovation for the public, it's also intellectual property. I'd love to find a way to make sure for those projects, particularly for those projects which are going to fail, that we have a mechanism that releases the stuff that has been created to them into the public domain. I think that's hard to do for everything. There are some sectors where that's probably impossible. But through preference, I think you get the most public societal value. I actually think you probably get the most economic value if you leave things open.
Can I just make one point on that? How many people in this room were born in the UK? Okay, so probably like half, and that's probably overrepresentative. I mean, one of the great things about the UK is its diversity, and there's no reason why you can't actually use people like how do things like Skype grow? They grew because someone here was calling someone over there, and we've got the people in this country who live and have family in every other country in the world. So why can't they be the cultural messengers? I mean, have like a people-built BBC Worldwide as opposed to, a broadcast-built one. There's no reason why, that's the second order that's going to happen because people are international in this country more than most.
But it's about creating an ecology where different players can deliver to different needs. That's why I talk about turning government inside out, letting the data out, let the hooks be there, and let a whole bunch of different entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, purely commercial entrepreneurs, mixed models, meet the needs. That's what I'm trying to do with 4IP around particular aspects of public service media. I think it's much broader than that as a trend.
I think if you take, you can take, I had Bruce Phil also work in the National Health Service. I don't think it matters which sort of public service you take. I think you're absolutely right about turning it inside out, but using the example of Ofsted, we inspect and regulate all services for children. That is children who are looked after in the care system, who are often the most disadvantaged, disenfranchised, and frankly ill-served in the country. But what we're not very good at doing is looking at how we communicate. So some of the solutions you're talking about for the public sector, whilst they might be mass media solutions for everyone, actually have niches within them. We know that 35% of parents of kids who are in school now aren't online, but what we also know is 70% of parents whose kids are in school today did not get 5 GCSEs with English and Maths, and we continue to send them letters, and that's the only way that we communicate with them about their school, or the only way we can communicate with them about the result of an Ofsted inspection or anything else. We do know, actually, that the population who owns a mobile phone is significantly larger than both of those figures, and therefore, if we can look at more innovative ways of using media to communicate with them about what it is that's happening for their children, or engaging children, which is something that we do in Ofsted with looked after children. We've given up communicating through anything other than mobile phones, frankly. And what we need to do is to make those much more visually appealing, because now they are just text-based. And so I think there are lots of ways that the media, the digital age, helps us to really drive forward and change and make a difference for everybody and the most disadvantaged. The use of visual, my nephew has very profound learning difficulties, and he communicates through a digibox when he communicates at all, which is quite rarely. The opportunity we have to give him an entire world, quite literally at his fingertips, but because we're the public sector, we don't think about, is staggering. And I think that actually using this kind of medium can really deliver a public service. But I don't think it's wrong to think about it for the masses. I think because you do it that way and you actually get it for often very marginalised people.